I literally cannot believe that I've lived up to this day. Apparently Konami decided to pull heads out of their asses and remembered that they have a couple of pretty decent IPs to say the least. One of them is Silent Hill, of course. I guess some rumors can be true sometimes. During the Silent Hill transmission showcase performed by Konami, several new projects were shown. Of course, some of them are much more interesting than others in my humble opinion. Since we're dealing with trailers and Konami, this video is gonna make more sense if you listen to it rather than watching. I'm trying to avoid strikes, you know.
In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill.
Let's start with Silent Hill Ascension. This is a new interactive streaming series, and to be honest, I'm not quite sure how this whole thing is going to work. Is this going to be something like Black Mirror Bandersnatch, or is it going to be something like Hidden Agenda and Online Until Dawn? Will the voting be available when the show is streaming only, or will it give about a week or so for people who can't watch this or that episode right away? For example, I didn't really enjoy Black Mirror Bandersnatch, although the idea seemed great. But I really enjoyed Until Dawn. I guess we'll see. The next piece of media is Return to Silent Hill, a movie adaptation of the second game. We have the same director who was responsible for the first movie shown in 2006. I've watched their preview materials and there are some things that slightly bother me. Opinions considering the first adaptation were mixed when the movie was released. I can clearly praise the movie for accurate work with angles, various combinations of different elements mixed up together, and an overall understanding of the lore. If you look at the story apart from the games, it looked pretty decent. I always say that adaptations are called so because they adapt the original piece of art/media into another dimension, or the sphere of art. Something that worked in the game may not work in movies, something that worked in movies may not work in theater, etc, etc. But Silent Hill has a legacy so heavy you cannot ignore it. One of the controversial elements is, for example, the ash that was added as another element of atmosphere, and it's the reason why I had to explain that the gaming universe of Silent Hill and the movie universe of Silent Hill differ over and over again. Probably the most concerning thing was the usage of the infamous pyramid head. On the one hand, I understand what the creators were trying to do, to bring into this universe an iconic figure and please the fanbase. But on the other hand, this monster was, let's say, exclusive to James Sunderland. Pyramid Head was a manifestation of Sunderland's agony, guilt, and desire for punishment, and he was chasing exactly James. And apparently the heroine of the first movie, Rose da Silva, thought that she deserved punishment? Why? That was just fan service, nothing else. And when the producer says that the director of the first movie and the following one is a true gamer, that they understand the audience and what people want, I think they kinda missed the point. But hey, this is only my opinion. Alright, moving on. Silent Hill Townfall! From No Code Studio, the creators of Observation and Stories Untold. Nothing much to say here actually. I haven't figured out anything specific from this trailer. Observation and Stories Untold are quite small games, so I wouldn't expect anything marvelous here. But still, even small games can be really great. Silent Hill 2 Remake is a different story. Bloober Team is responsible for this remake. The studio that started with their visual exercise with Layers of Fear is now working with big boys such as Xbox and Konami. Who could have thought? Many of you may ask a question. Why would they remake the second game instead of the first one, although the first clearly needs a remake more than the second game? I have a couple of ideas. The second game is considered much more iconic than the original game, so the fanbase, including me, will be glad to throw that coin at the developers. The second reason is that the development of the first game would unofficially confirm the development of the third part, since that is a direct sequel. And probably the owners of Silent Hill are not so sure about the success of such decisions. The third reason is probably the already mentioned movie. Since no dates were confirmed or even hinted at, there is a chance that both the game and the movie can be released at the same time. Some people felt devastated that James Sunderland didn't look at the player during the opening scene. To be honest, I don't think it's much a necessary detail. I mean, not all of us play at such brightness that you can burn out your eyes. What bothers me more is that I have completely different feelings after watching the entering scene. In the original scene, James looks calm and determined. He really doesn't believe that Mary can still be alive in Silent Hill, when in the remake he looks lost and pathetic.
Could she really be here?
Do I believe that Bloober Team will be able to deliver something as cool as Resident Evil 2 Remake? Probably no. Do I have faith in those guys and want to play this game? I sure do. Plus, Masahiro Ito and Akira Yamaoka are back, and they will be responsible for creature design and music respectively. You can wishlist it on Steam and PS Store now. The Xbox version will be released in about a year or so. I mean, the Medium was supposed to be an Xbox and PC exclusive, but still was released several months later on PlayStation. And last but not least, Silent Hill F. I really hope this is the working title. It's being developed by Neobarts Entertainment and consists of some former Capcom and Konami developers. Let me tell you this, if I was shown this trailer and someone asked me to guess the franchise, I would probably say it looks like Fatal Frame. I mean, all Silent Hill games were leaning towards Western culture and audience, but here we have a Japanese setting. Here we see red licorice, which is usually associated with death in Japan, and a torii, a traditional Japanese gate used in Shinto, which marks the transition to a sacred territory. The overall style and setting take place in Japan. That's my theme. This game will probably be especially gross for people with trypophobia. In the trailer we see some red substance looking like some kind of mold or a parasite that looks like flowers or red licorice. Also, by looking at the nickname Rukishi07, you may think, oh no, this is the story written by some nerd? Well, not quite. He's the creator of a very popular visual novel Higurashi no Nakokoro ni, or When They Cry. Judging by the fanbase this guy and novels have, he understands something in writing. Besides, it partly proves that the game is going to be story-based. You see, the Neobarts studio helped Capcom to develop some installments of Resident Evil games, including Resident Evil Reverse. So, at first, I feared that this is going to be an online game. There's still a chance though, but I still think that a guy like Rukishi07 wouldn't be invited if that was the case. Well, that's mostly it. Probably only such a huge thing could drag me out of my video game coma. Let me know what you guys think. What's your favorite trailer in this presentation? Thank you for your attention, and see you in the next video.